What's good, YouTube? This is CryptoSteve. I just want to let you guys know that I will be doing a rebranding of the channel. This is my third video, but I just felt like it was time to rebrand already. I don't really care for my name, so I'm going to change it to BoringCrypto. So welcome to BoringCrypto. Today I'm going to show you Bitcoin analysis, and I'm going to go based off the history of Bitcoin and previous bull runs, and I'm going to go based off of what Bitcoin dominance looks like. So first things first, Bitcoin is currently sitting at 61,000, which is incredible. That's crazy. And I remember in 2013 when I was in high school, I never would have expected that. I remember hearing about it. Just play internet money, it doesn't mean anything. And then in college, when I was in college, that, first bull run happened, and man, was I confused. So anyways, first I'm going to start by marking monthly supports and resistances. Basically, I'm just going to turn my monthly Bitcoin chart into a line chart and just mark these supports and resistances. So they're a little more clear to see when you look at candles. You don't have to worry too much about the close. We're basically going to start with the close of March, and we're going to bottom out at the closing of June, and that's what we get. That's what it looks like. I'm going to mark some zones on the lower time frame, but just so you know, these red lines are major supports and resistances. You can think of them as areas where price is attracted to, where price tends to go. That's the best way for me to describe it. So on the lower time frames, I'm going to mark zones. And what that means is they're support and resistance areas. They're kind of subjective, but I basically will mark them by looking for these red lines that I've marked on the monthly chart. And then I'll look for points where price has kind of pivoted or changed direction. So this area right here, the top of these two candles, I'm just going to take my rectangle tool and I'm just going to draw from the top of this red candle to the end of the wick. It's very small, but that's what I'm going to do. And then another place I would go is here. It's kind of subjective. So the bottom of this red candle to the bottom of the wick. And I'm just going to mark a few more. And you guys can kind of watch what I'm doing to kind of get a better idea. Like I said, they don't have to be perfect, and they're not going to be perfect. You can just it's subjective. So that's just what it is. The more you mark up charts, the more you'll see these zones and how price reacts to them, and you can come up with better conclusions by just marking up a chart like this with just lines. You don't have to do any indicators, anything like that. It's just how I do it. Moving on from that, we can see that Bitcoin has broken the previous all-time high monthly close, which is what I have marked here, and it's broken out, and now it's come back and it's retested it to a T. I mean, it's perfect. But the question is, does Bitcoin go up from here, or does it fall back into this area? Based off of what's happened in the past and what I see in Bitcoin dominance tomorrow, Bitcoin should go up, and how high it will go in the short term, it's kind of hard for me to decide where Bitcoin will top out. But ultimately, I can tell you that I do believe that tomorrow, starting October 25th, Bitcoin will continue up. So basically, end of October, we're going to see Bitcoin go up. And then in the beginning of November, Bitcoin is going to fall down. It's going to go under this zone that we just got past, and it's going to find support somewhere. And that support could be in a lot of places. So I would say anywhere between 54 and 50,000. So this is what I expect it to do. Next week, or tomorrow it starts, we go up. And then the first week of November, Bitcoin's going to fall. You say, okay, BoringCrypto, how do you come to that conclusion? So we got to kind of look at the past. So let's go back to the past, and we can see that on this weekly chart right here. And once we got into November, Bitcoin dominance fell. And if you look at other altcoins like Ether, the first week in November, it kind of chilled. But then second week of November, the third week, and so forth, it corrects in November. So just remember that. It breaks its all-time high, corrects down to it, and then continues up. Based off of what Ethereum does, let's go ahead and continue to show you why I believe next week, tomorrow, will be the beginning of a new all-time high again for Bitcoin, and why the last week of October heading into November will be a red week for Bitcoin before continuing up into new all-time highs again. And I'm aiming for a high of 88. I don't see Bitcoin going higher than 88. That's my personal target. I hope it goes higher, but that's my personal target. It might not get to 88. If it doesn't get to 88, You know, we got to look at these areas, you know, 75, 80, and then 88 ultimately. And we'll see how things go with that, but we'll get there when we get there. In the short term, I can tell you that Bitcoin is likely going to fall down to any of these areas. I think it's safer to say though Bitcoin will go to 52. That's my target, 52. Or maybe it breaks up and goes down and just retests the previous all-time high at around 60,000. We'll have to see what happens. We're going to have to monitor it, but that's just my guess. So, let's go to the Bitcoin dominance chart and take a look at what happened in the past. So, first things first, let's go to the 2017 bull run. So, October, we get this huge rise in Bitcoin, which we have. And then the last week of October, right before we get into November, Bitcoin kind of closed at a support or at a resistance area. So let's go ahead and mark this zone. That's how I would mark it. And Bitcoin closes here at about 62%. And then the next week, it flies up, right? Which is where we're heading tomorrow. And it flies up, and it looks like it's going to continue up because it broke through this resistance, but it ends up falling. So let's see what's happening right now. So October, we rise, and now we kind of have this weird looking candle. It's not a hammer, but it's kind of a indecision candle. Remember last time what Bitcoin did? It rose, it kind of paused at a resistance, which we have here, and then it continued up into the end of October before falling really hard and wicking down at the previous low. So here. So back then it would have been 48. Now it would be 38. So we're just looking at the similarities here. Rise, fall, and then rise again through November, through December, and then ultimately just falling off by January, which lines up with my XRP analysis of January 1st being the time to kind of get out of most of your coins. Maybe not all of them, but most of them. I'm expecting this candle to close red, go up, and then test this area by the end of that week, by the end of the first week of November. And then Bitcoin will rise again, and then we're just going to see things get kind of crazy. I hope that we go past my 88K target, but the reality is that's what I'm looking at, and until we break, that's what I have to go with. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Boring Crypto. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Good luck with your trades. Good luck with your crypto. I'm trying to upload every other day. I think that's healthy for me. I don't think that's overkill. I think it's easy to do. I'm pretty quick at editing. I just chop them around a bit. But if you guys like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Please comment. Let me know what you think the Bitcoin top will be. Let me know when you think it'll top. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Take it easy. Thank you.